Hey there, I'm Michelle Coyle and I help queer entrepreneurs start up and scale. And today we're going to talk about the 7 habits that are going to make you an awesome fucking entrepreneur. Okay, so being an entrepreneur is not easy by any means. And if anybody ever tells you it is, they are lying. All right, especially now, it is really hard road to hoe. So in my couple of decades of experience now, I've identified these 7 key habits that successful entrepreneurs practice. And if you do these and practice these every day, I promise that you are going to get mentally tough, mentally strong, and be a way better entrepreneur and probably improve other parts of your life as well. So let me let you in on what these are right now, starting with habit number 1. Habit number 1 is mindset work. Okay, and what do we mean? You might have heard that term thrown around a little bit, or you may be really deep into it and do it every day. I don't know. What I mean when I talk about mindset work is just taking a few minutes every single day, and sometimes several times a day, but at least at the beginning of the day, to really get in touch with a few things. Your why are you doing the work that you do? Who you are, so your identity, right? I'm a kick-ass entrepreneur, or whatever it is that your identity is, and your goals. So those can be, I want you to be getting in touch with your longer-term goals, right? Okay, this is what I'm doing in the year or in 5 years, and also here are what my goals are for the day. If you take time every single day to just get back in touch with those things, here's who I am, here's who I help, here's why I do it, here's what I can do, here's what I'm going to be doing over the next year, and here's what I need to do to get done today. I promise your focus and direction are going to improve 1,000 times, and you're going to be amazed at what you can accomplish just by doing a few little steps every single day that are very focused and very directed toward those larger goals. Okay, so that's habit 1. Habit 2 is meditation, and this is not the same thing as mindset work, because mindset work is very active, very directed, and very focused. Meditation is almost the opposite. It's taking time every day to just allow what comes. And the practice here is to start being able to identify the feelings of what's coming up, but we don't analyze them. We certainly don't criticize them. We just kind of observe them. So if we do this every single day, we start to get really good at being in touch with our own thoughts and feelings, which is super key as a leader. Why am I thinking this way? Why am I reacting this way? Why do I feel this way? Let me observe that. Let me take a second, because getting into the practice of doing that makes you mentally strong so that you're not reactive, right? When we're overly reactive, especially in business, we can totally screw things up. We do not want to be making reactive, rash, overly emotional decisions. We want everything to be well thought out, and we're going to have lots and lots of feelings. Like I said, this is really not easy. And so as you have all these feelings and emotions coming up, it's really important to be tough enough to be able to say, okay, that's what that feeling is. Thank you, anger, thank you, frustration, whatever, thank you, sadness, thank you, jealousy, whatever it is. I hear you, I see what you're trying to bring up to me, and I observe that, but I'm not going to react to it and do something rash that's going to tank my business or get me in a fight with somebody I love or something like that, right? So meditation helps us build that muscle. Habit number 3 is time boxing, and by this I mean everything goes on the calendar, okay? Everything. Because as you know, as entrepreneurs, sometimes we can tend to be a little bit of workaholic, or things coming up all the time and reacting all the time to, clients or customers or employees or whatever. And then you lump in if you have a family, if you have kids, if you have a partner, and other things that need tended to. And it can just be like crazy chaos all day unless you wrestle control of that and make sure that the things that you need to have happen are going to happen. So you've got your calendar already with any meetings that you need to have with other people. But you also need to be time boxing your work time on there, because again, if you don't make time and say, I'm going to work on this project with this hour, I'm going to spend this hour recording YouTube videos, for instance, that is never going to get done. A bunch of other things are going to come and they're going to take up that time. And before you know it, that hour is gone. And so you may have had every good intention in the world, but you still didn't get it done. You weren't closer to your goal. So make sure after you set those goals in your daily mindset work that you are making time on your calendar to actually work on and achieve them. This also includes things like physical exercise, like time with your partner, even time with your kids, whatever you need to do to make sure it happens. If it's important to you, if you've got kids that you're at dinner every night with the kids, put that on the calendar so that make sure that, it's just tricking ourselves. Make sure it happens. It's a scheduled appointment. It's not optional. If it's not optional to you and according to your own morals and values, make sure it's on the calendar so that your brain doesn't start to treat it as optional. Okay, speaking of physical exercise, that's habit number 4. Get in the habit, if you are able, to do some type of physical exercise most days every week. And it's not just because being physically strong allows us to have the stamina to work as hard as we need to be entrepreneurs. It's also because this stuff gets really stressful, especially in times like this. Things can get really overwhelming, and one of the best ways to process that type of stress and overwhelm is just to physically move your body. I always stop if I'm getting upset or overwhelmed. the very first thing I ask myself is, when's the last time I moved my body? And almost invariably, it'll be I skipped working out the day before. I haven't worked out yet today. If you can make yourself physically tired enough through exercise, a lot of times your body just isn't going to be able to do the, anxiety shaking that it would have been doing otherwise, because you've already kind of burned some of that off. So get that into the routine too. All right, number 5 is continuous learning, okay? What I mean by this is deepening your expertise, really going into mastery. If you're an entrepreneur, likely you're in business because you were really, really, really good at one thing, or you knew a lot about something and you could consult on that, or you were really good at some kind of function where you were able to make a product that could do that better or something like that. You know a lot about something, enough to say, hey, I know how to do this better than almost everybody else, and that's why I'm launching a company around it, right? That does not mean that you have now learned enough that you're a master and you never have to practice or learn again. I bet you right now Yo-Yo Ma is playing cello and learning more about cello, even if Yo-Yo Ma is the best cello player in the entire world, or in all of history, right? Mastery is about continually learning new things to deepen your expertise. I'm a business expert. I'm constantly reading business books. I'm listening to other business experts. I'm learning every single day more and more and more, especially as the nature of business changes, the market shifts all the time. It's very important for me to not only keep current, but also to continually learn and develop more and more mastery so that I can give my clients the very, very best well of knowledge that I can possibly be and possibly give to them. Okay, the number 6 habit is risk challenge, risk tolerance, and this really just boils down to doing something that terrifies you on a regular basis, okay? So the last thing that I did that really terrified me was I jumped off a cliff in Hawaii. I jumped off, it was like, I don't know, 30 feet, maybe I'm exaggerating. I looked down, there were sharp looking rocks down there. I was freaked out. It took me a full 2 minutes, which is a long ass time when you're standing on the edge of a cliff, to actually jump over the edge of that cliff. But I asked my clients to do scary things all the time. I've got to do this scary thing, and I did that, and I was so proud of myself. I also recently started learning dance, learning Zouk. I'm not a dancer, and that was really, really terrifying to go to that first class by myself and say, I'm here, I don't know anything about this, and I don't know any people here, but I want to learn. It was terrifying, and now I love it. I've been doing it a few months, and I really, really love it. But you've got to constantly be practicing doing things that scare you, being brave, because being a strong entrepreneur is not about not being scared. This shit is terrifying all the time. It's about being able to look at scary things like, oh my God, I have to, I'm going to have to borrow the money to hire somebody, or I'm not going to be able to grow the business. And that's really scary, because debt is scary, right? It's being able to look a scary thing in the eye and say, this is scary and I'm going to do it anyway. That's what bravery is. So practice that muscle by doing scary things, and practice being brave, and you'll get braver and braver the more you do that. The last tip, number 7, is to practice being in beginner mind. So this is also about learning, but when we talked before about continuous learning, we were talking about mastery and deepening of your own expertise. Now I'm talking about beginner mind, learning something totally new, totally different. If you've never cooked, learning to cook, learning to draw, learning a language, again, learning to dance like I'm doing. Just something that is outside of your realm of experience. Pick something and learn it. This is really, really, really important, so that those parts of your brain don't start to, solidify, go dormant. You want to keep that active as long as we can. As we age, especially, we want to start to keep all of that brain stuff active. And also because it gives you empathy for people who are not experts yet, right? I sometimes forget that when I'm working with brand new clients, that they don't know all the things that I know, that's not obvious to them, right? I need to remember that continuously in order to be able to serve people from one stage where they are right now to over here, closer to where I've been able to get over a lot of time and a lot of experience, right? In order to do that, I need to remember, what does it feel like when you don't know any of this stuff? So when I go to a dance lesson and I'm learning something brand new, that reminds me, oh yeah, this is terrifying. This is what it feels like. This is really scary. This is really intimidating. This is how I feel in comparison to watching people who have done this for 10 years or 20 years do it. And I can then have that deeper level of respect for people who are coming to me and saying, I don't know anything about business yet, but I really want to do it. And say, wow, you've done a really brave and scary thing, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. And I know what it's like to be a beginner. So that's it. Those are the 7 habits. If you do those 7 things on a continuous basis, you will build all of the muscles that you need to build psychologically and sometimes even physically in order to be a strong, awesome, kick-ass entrepreneur, which I'm sure you already are, but we can always get better. Deepen your mastery. Keep working on it. just be the best you can be, and that way you can help as many people as you can possibly help and have an awesome, increased, exponential impact on the world before you die. That's what we want. So if you like this video, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe right here, and you can watch all the other videos we do about all kinds of business topics. We are all about queer business, and we talk about it in a holistic way all the way around. If you've got a topic you want me to cover, drop it in the comments. I'll take it on. We'll do it. It's always a fun project for me to do that. So listen, I know you guys can do this. Go build those habits. I know it's tough right now out there, but the strong people are going to survive and thrive. So get to it, go let it shine, and we'll see you next time.